Do you have a racial preference?
No.
You're the best kind of gay.
It's impulsive as fuck.
I'm glad this isn't a family program.
We're gonna check out some dick pics.
You see the bios, they're like blacks only, Latinos only, Asians only. It's like, why only?
These are fucking fun.
Hi, I'm Arisce Wanzer, and I'm a pair of legs with a head.
I'm all about physical attraction.
There is prejudice versus preferences.
Hey guys, it's your queer agenda cheerleader, Arisce Wanzer, and you're watching What the Flip. And today we're going to cover racial preferences in dating apps with these two.
So my name is Allan. I am black, that's what I identify as, but I'm actually mixed with a whole bunch of different races. But I identify mostly as black, and I am proud to say that. I'm also proud to say that I identify as a gay male as well.
My name is Kanon Spakman, and I'm a white gay man in Los Angeles.
You know, in talking, I've had people be like, oh, I love black guys and things like that, and I've never really gone on to ask them why. In the back of my mind, I've always wanted to, just because I think it's kind of like a weird thing to say, just like I love a specific kind of people.
I remember a long time ago when Grindr first came out, and I have a friend who's not white, who's on Grindr, and he was telling me about his experience and how he felt really invisible. And it was very eye-opening because it was not my experience, like not to gloat, right, obviously. I'd never really thought about it before. How people's preferences, or whatever you want to call it, affect how people are treated, and then kind of have conversations with those people, and then have conversations on the flip side with my white friends who think that it's just a preference.
So my take on racial preferences in dating apps is I don't have any racial preferences. I definitely have a type. I love thick eyebrows. But when it comes to other people, I think I have gotten some pushback when they find out that I am black. They'll be like, oh, you can't be black, you don't look black. I'm like, I look very black. But the pushback kind of says that they have a preference that's not black, because otherwise you just accept that I just said I was black. I'm used to it, but it's very off-putting, because you're like, why are you fighting this so hard? Like, I had a guy just like, no, you're not black, like, stop saying you're black, but I'd like to take you out. And I'm like, you can only take me out if I like denounce my blackness. I'm like, this is a mess. I'm like, no, I'm black and you're blocked. So
Have you ever experienced racism on dating apps?
You clearly put your photo on the dating app. You're clearly African American, like I am. And then when you speak to someone, solidify the moment of, yes, I am a black male. They completely cut you off. I don't know if it's racism. I don't know if that's the word.
Are they white?
They are white, yes.
Are they Latino?
No, they're not Latino.
Are they Asian?
No,
So it's only white men.
it's only white men.
Gasp.
are there any red flags for you guys where, you think it's about to get racial?
I personally haven't had anybody come to me and say anything racist like that. I've just had people be like, I'm really into black guys, and in the back of my mind, I'm just like, really, why? Tell me why. I just think that's kind of something really weird to say. It's not like I go around saying, I love white people, So it's just, I think it's just something,
It's
why,
weird.
why say that,
I'm like, I love dogs instead of cats.
Yeah.
I think that's a preference.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's
if
just
you
weird,
love
like-
a color of dogs specifically, you're kind of a dog racist. How about you, Kenneth? You get racial stuff going on?
Sometimes. I'll say that typically whenever I get a message from someone who's not white with something of the context of, oh, you're my type, that's usually a red flag that they're only dating me because I'm white.
How does that make you feel?
So if we're being totally honest, it's both off-putting and flattering simultaneously. Because like, who doesn't like to hear that you're hot, right? Everyone likes that.
Yeah.
Everybody likes attention. But at the same time, it sucks being reduced to just the color of your skin.
Aw, you poor white person.
I know, right?
Or me.
I will say that I've had the opposite, where I see somebody that I'm attracted to, let me try and message this person, but they don't message me back. And I'm not necessarily saying that's because of my race, but I think that has a lot to do with it sometimes. I mean, that's racist for one, but it's also, it's very hurtful. It makes us think like, at least when I was younger, growing up, like, oh, maybe I'm not beautiful, maybe I'm not worthy enough, to be talking to these people, and I think it's kind of wrong.
It is wrong.
White boys preferring you. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's a little bit of like a fetishization thing, and it's like, oh, you're Hispanic, you must be spicy and fun. And I'm like, I'm just me. I don't know.
Don't white people hate spicy things?
When they're eating them, yeah. When they're fucking them, I guess not. I don't know.
Do you have a sect of guys do you think is attracted to you?
There is a very select group that's more attracted to me than anyone else.
What does that group look like? Older, white, male?
Yes.
I already know, because that same group wants me.
Yeah.
When do we stop calling it a preference and start calling it fetishism? Like, what's the breaking point? Give it to me.
I would say maybe it becomes a fetish when you're not even looking to really connect with that person for who they are. You're just looking for what they are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But since it's dating apps, like let's talk about this. Some people are just looking to get off, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sex positivity, hey. But is there something wrong with the fact that they're only looking for a certain thing to get them off, or should they be sexually exploring as well, since we're being so sex positive?
So that's a good question. I think to go back to the fetishism question, it has a lot to do with dehumanizing people.
Yes.
That line where you start to dehumanize a person and they become a sex object for you, I think that is I think literally the definition of fetishism. Is that wrong or is that right to fetishize someone based on their race? I think the question of consent comes into play, right? Like
Yes,
if everyone's
there we go.
consenting to what's happening,
Yes.
cool, do
Absolutely.
it.
Right?
But that moment where you're deceiving another person and they're not consenting to whatever behavior you're propping up or you're trying to like slide under the rug, I think you have a morally dubious situation going on.
Yeah. No, I actually
absolutely no.
completely agree.
I agree as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was a really good way to put that. Yeah, because I've absolutely been fetishized by a guy, and I did not give a shit. So if you look like Jason Momoa and you slide in my DMs and you're like, I like trans girls, I'm like, I like you. What's up? I'm not looking for a fucking connection.
Do you experience any fetishism?
I do get those messages like BBC, like that's how they straight ask me that, like,
BBC stands for Big Black Cock.
I mean, I think everyone knows that. I mean, what else?
Everyone knows that, but we're saying it for the white people watching who are heterosexual.
Yes, a big black cock. I mean, I have my occasions where I do like to show my cock, but I don't think it's big black. I think it's like ABC, like average black cock.
Work. At least he's honest. Shit, you need to find you an honest man. Okay, what's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Yeah, work. And he cooks.
All right, guys, so we're at the point in the show where we exchange Grindr profiles, and you get to look at them, and we get to judge. All right. Ooh, hey, Kanon.
First thing I see, especially for a selfie in a mirror, is yay for a clean mirror. Thank you.
Yes! And a clean room. Clean your
Yes, that's
fucking
what
room. He's 5'9", he's not lying.
No.
145 pounds, also not lying. White, slim,
definitely
not
true.
lying. So, Kanon, what's your experience been on dating apps?
Generally pretty good, I feel like. At least from what I've learned, Grindr is designed to cater to people like me. Like I'm white, cis,
has abs,
male.
Yeah.
I don't eat carbs.
Right.
So generally,
Carbs.
my experience has been pretty good. People are generally pretty nice to me. So overall, no complaints. That probably sounds really shitty. But
No, it just sounds really white.
there you go. Very white.
Sounds about white.
It sounds about white. Yeah. There you go.
All right, so let's check Allan's profile.
So initially, really liking that he has a vote sign in the background. You're displaying something about you in your profile, that you are politically minded. That's pretty cool, because a lot of profiles, mine included, are very vapid. We don't have anything like that. So he's into education. Please be nice, cool, and keep it real. No pic equals no chat, which I hate that you have to say that on Grindr, but you are so right.
It's
because
so
there's so many
true.
people who
I
just
feel-
message you, hey, and then nothing in the profile, no picture, no nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking stop doing that. It's
Yeah.
awful. No one
we
likes
don't know
that.
who you are.
And-
just, we want to know who we're talking to.
No, on top of that, they always have demands. They're like, you can host, right? I'm like, I don't know what you look like.
What do you look like?
Letting
Why
you
would
in my
I
house.
Uber?
Why would I invite you over?
It's like a ghost hitting on me. Pics! I'm like, who is that? Who's haunting this profile? Okay.
The other thing I want to talk about is these emojis. That is Cancer.
Yes.
What are these flags?
So that is France and Japan.
Yes, so
And
I have my nationalities up there. And dating apps, it's just, I feel like I've come across so many times not getting the opportunity to talk or connect with somebody because they just assume I'm one thing or another. So it's just like, you know.
Oh, so yeah, just because you're black, they assume that maybe you're thuggy.
Yeah,
Or like a homo thug.
Or
That's
don't
what they
know.
call them in Miami.
And it's also kind of like a talking point too. Just for people who can be like, hey, what do these represent? Why are they on there?
Okay, yeah.
So,
like, or if someone was like, I've been to Belize, I recognize that
Something,
flag.
yeah.
I'd be like, I didn't recognize none of that.
And it doesn't happen all the time, but 9 times out of 10, every time I get on there, I get at least one message just like BBC. I'm like, all right, come on.
Do you have a racial preference?
Yeah, brown. So like some melanin in some capacity. No, I'm from DC, so I'm accustomed to seeing like dark people, and so that's just typically what I'm accustomed to seeing and enjoying it and enjoying.
You go with what's familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a gray area with racial preferences when someone doesn't want to date? Let's say a black guy does not date white guys. You know, is that okay, or are we splitting hairs here? Just because I do like that I can say certain things to black people that white people will not understand.
I don't know. That's it is kind of a gray area. I think everybody should give something or somebody a chance. You know.
I agree.
I mean, you can't say you don't like something if you've never experienced it before. So
we don't mean sexual preferences.
We also
We're
mean
talking
sexual
about
preferences.
Really? Go back.
What are we
talking about? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay to like not be attracted to somebody. I don't want to be not attracted to somebody because I'm black.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where the problem is.
How about you, Kanon?
Whose phone is getting blown up, by the way?
Oh my, so is yours. So I think this is a really good question. I have a really good friend who's not white, who almost exclusively dated white guys for years, and all of his relationships ended horribly. And now he's with someone who is his same race and ethnic background, and they're getting married next year, right?
That's
so I think there is definitely something to be said about familiarity, or you know, when you come from a very strong cultural background. Like my third boyfriend was Chinese, and he was second generation Chinese. So his family was very traditional Chinese. There were a lot of cultural things about trying to integrate with his family that were pain points for our relationship. I think him going away from that experience, I would not think less of him for wanting to date someone who's Chinese afterwards because of the issues he had with me and the issues that his family had with me, right? It really depends. I think what you brought up is a really good point. You should never cut anyone off because of what their racial or ethnic background is, but I also don't think it's necessarily bad to want to be with people that are like you.
Leading off of that, actually, it's funny because growing up, I was mostly raised around white people, so that's what I was familiar with. That's who I was mostly attracted to. That's who my fiance was a white man. Of course, growing up, I've never thought black people were ugly or black men were ugly, but my eyes would always go to the white guy. So like, and now I think it's just...
I blame the media.
But like now, but it's like, but why? But why was I thinking that? But that was because I was brought up to like not think I was beautiful, so I wasn't thinking they were beautiful. If that makes sense. But now, for me, like my view has completely changed, and it's like it's weird being a black man and then not being attracted to your own race at first. And now that I have opened up to that, I have had some of the best dates, you know, with people of my own race. It's a different level because you can joke about certain things and they get you on a different level. Not cutting somebody off based on their race is so important because you never know what you can experience.
Even if it's your own race.
Even if it's your own race.
What are your takeaways from today? What do you think?
This conversation has just made me realize that talking about things, I was like, wait, maybe I do have racial preferences I thought I'd let go of. You know what I mean? So I thought it was great.
Growth. Yeah. Right? Now you're a gaping hole of growth. It's super open, y'all.
Don't talk about that on camera.
How about you, Kanon?
I mean, I really like just being a part of this conversation because I think it's so fucking important that we talk about these things, right? Because there's so many people that
I'm so glad it was you. I'm so glad it was you.
Especially like in our
in the gay community especially.
It's just swept under the rug. It's just something that goes on all the time, but we for some reason don't talk about it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, you know, there's a lot of ignorance in the gay community. Like, it's a process, right? You have to ask questions. You have to be willing to listen to people that have a different experience than you. And I think a question that I was asked earlier that really struck me was like, what do you identify as? Right? And that's a question I never get asked.
Right.
And that's something that struck me today because it's like, I have the privilege of never being asked to identify.
Right? That's like my whole life. That's me at the grocery store. Excuse me, Herm. Right? And I'm just like, look, I just want to buy eggs. Right?
It's just important to be open to having these conversations and having these discussions and opening your mind to learning about experiences that are not you. Because even today, I learned something, right? I had a good experience.
Yeah. My takeaway is this conversation needs to happen. It needs to happen in our community. And if you have Latin, Asian, Black friends who don't talk to you about race, you don't have Latin, Asian, or Black friends. Those are people that you know. Just keeping it real.
Goddamn. Right? Damn, Ray. I just like
it's tea.
Boiling.
So yeah, no, it's honey. That tea. It's tea.
Served.
It's like if you have friends of color who don't talk to you about race issues, you don't have friends of color. You have people that you know who talk about race issues without you, because it's a regular thing for all of us. That's What's the Flip, guys. This has been Arisce Wanzer. Please subscribe, comment, like, say nice things, say mean things. I don't care. What you gonna do? Jump through the screen? Anyway, it's been lovely.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right, I'll see you later.